Well, good morning, Nigel. You're looking very well.
Feeling well, feeling rested and relaxed, which is not something I would ordinarily say. Usually I say, "Oh, knackered." No, I honestly don't. I'm feeling it's okay. It's strange being in a bubble or in a cocoon or being isolated, but it's just a game that we've got to play the game and be part of the process. And so I'm just doing my thing. But I feel okay. It's life's okay, and we're back doing what we love.
Can you show us around your digs where you've been locked down?
Yeah, it won't take long. So I've got a window going to a dual carriageway, which is not a lot. I've got a mirror so I can look at myself all day.
That's nice.
A TV, a bed, a Stevie Wonder tracksuit, and a bathroom, and that's it. So you have to stay in your room for 24 hours after the test, or until your test come back conclusive, negative or positive, and then you're allowed to leave your room as such. Although a lot of people are not. A lot of people they do deliver your food to your room daily, 3 times a day. It's like I've been in a posh prison, really. You know, you got but it's obviously not a 9x9 room. It's bigger, but it's strange, very, very strange. But it's just part of the process that we have to do.
And you're not top to toe with Big Stevie?
No, not at all. He's exactly opposite me, so I can keep my eye on him or hear him. But Stevie's a consummate professional, and there's not one person I don't have to worry about. Some people you have to worry about nipping out to the pub or nipping out to the restaurant.
You mean he's worried about you doing that? I don't think that's the other way.
You're right. So I didn't buy a crate of beer, so you didn't see that. But it's just ridiculous because I thought, what am I going to do for 3 days? And I'm not a massive drinker. I thought, I'll have a glass of lager, but I haven't. So
you're not bothered yet. Oh well. Well, we'll get to Stevie's fight in a minute. But obviously, it's been an interesting kind of bubble for you because it's a shame that top of the bill has gone. I mean, there's still a good top of the bill with Tyrone McKenna and Ohara Davies, but obviously it was a great fight, Jazza Dickens and Ryan Walsh, and 2 great lads as well. It's a shame that one's gone with Jazz's positive test, obviously.
Both very top lads, and know them well. I've seen Walshy over in Tenerife when we've been over there, and Jazz has been sparring over at our place, and known him for a long time, and it was a difficult pick 'em, but I picked Jazza just because of what I've seen. And again, I've not seen Ryan, so it's difficult to pick against Ryan because he's never he'll always bring his A game. And they're a good family. They are a good family that I know of, and it's a real shame because I was excited about it, and it was a worthy top of the bill. Although you got a joint top of the bill with Tyrone McKenna and Ohara Davies, and also Liam Conroy and Michel. So it is still a cracking show. It really is, and it's just a shame that Jazz has done all that work, and Ryan, they've done a lot of work to come to nothing. So I'm gutted for them both, and also Derry and Georgie Vaughan and all the team involved.
Just quickly, give us your thoughts on the 2 fights that you mentioned there in terms of Tyrone against Ohara and also Liam, that you'll know well. I mean, he's fought a lot in Manchester and stuff. Liam hasn't, he's from Barrow, but obviously he's got a job on his hands with Michel as well. How do you think that those 2 go out?
So O'Hara's and Tyrone, I think O'Hara's rightly the favourite, just because of his punch power, and I believe that Tyrone gets dragged in a little bit. And obviously, my lad Jack Cattrall has been involved with both of them and beat both of them. It's a tough one. It really is. Even though rightly O'Hara's the favourite, I say rightly. That's the bookies have got it that way. I would put him as a favourite, but I would not be surprised. Genuinely, I think that if Tyrone can not get involved for the first 3, 4, 5. I think it'll be interesting, but obviously with Jack had him down twice, and couldn't finish him off. Maybe he was a little bit too desperate to get him to finish off, and a little bit too keen to get him out of there. Thought it may be an early night, so got dragged in himself a little bit. But that's, again, tonight's fight will be very interesting. But I would put Ohara as a favourite, and he's an interesting character. I mean, I don't know the guy. I've seen him, you see him in the hotel, you see him in the bubble, but I don't socialise him. I know his team obviously is being looked after now by Kevin Mitchell, who's looking after him. So Kevin, and he says he's on fire, so it will be interesting, and it really does make for a top fight. Liam, obviously I know very, very well through being from Barrow as an amateur, seeing him in the championships many years. Then obviously in fighting Stevie Ward in a classic fight over in Belfast. Stevie won, but it was maybe in Stevie's favour that it ended when he did, because he won by a round, and I had it exactly that. I had him winning it by one round, and maybe if he'd have gone further, then Liam would have won. But I like Liam, and he's a lovely kid. And then now I've been going up there for the past 3 weeks with Connor sparring. So Connor Tudsbury, obviously my amateur, has been sparring him, and it's been fantastic. So I believe, well, in fact, when we got here, I believed he was the underdog. Now he's the betting favourite, apparently. So, but I would edge Liam to win. Although Michel seems like he can fight. Although you can't gauge how good he is from his first fight. Obviously, he's had all the golden balls as such. He won he got the first one, and he picked out Tommy Philbin, who's super middleweight and wasn't in the best of condition by his own admission. And then he's picked Liam, as he thinks is the weakest part of it. And I think he'll maybe not rue the day, but I believe that Liam should win, and I would fancy him to win. And I like the team. I like Johnny Roy and all the lads up there. And he's a cracking kid. I've met him with his missus out on a few occasions, and the good people. He's a good family man. So I would go for my betting double would be Ohara to win on points, and then Liam to win on points as well. So that's my bet.
So what about your man tonight? He's cruiserweight now. We know he was weight drained when he was kind of caught cold a bit by Batelniks, who we've seen what he did with Burton last time out. So obviously there's all these little correlations and twists and turns with fighters, isn't it? But with Stephen now then...
I like that word. I'm going to try and use correlations at some point today. Honestly, you
can always have a positive or a negative correlation though, so just bear that in mind.
Is that right?
That's right. So anyway, I'll leave that with you.
About education. This is not about boxing, this is about education.
Right, but stepping to cruiserweight, the big man that he is, he's stepping up to cruiserweight, and Volau is stepping down from heavyweight. Interesting. I mean, he's got a record, the opponent tonight, that is 5-5, so that doesn't jump out, but records for DJs and all the other cliches you want to use. This is an interesting test for Steve.
Definitely, 100%. It's a dangerous fight. I'm going to say that now. Categorically, it's a dangerous fight. He can whack, very much so. We know that. Definitely by he's been sparring previously Dave Allen, and Dave said that to us. Said he can. He's very, very strong, and he goes for it. And 5-5 and records to DJs, all those are out really. The kid, it's a decent fight, and it's a very dangerous fight, because up until I think he's lost his last three. He was a prospect, and so they were touting him. He was on the white collar scene, I believe. And it was dangerous, and they asked him to go pro, and I think he was 4-1 or 4-0, and then he got 4-1. So it was a decent start, and then he's an army. Works for the army, and he's got a tough mentality. He's originally from Fiji, I believe. Very, very tough, but can fight and can hit. Obviously, I've done the homework on him. I believe he'll believe Steve is fragile because of his last loss, as you say, with Batelniks, and result doesn't look as bad now, even though he got beat, and he got beat for a weight range. Stephen Ward got beat. His fight, in my eyes, was all about the scales and not about the actual thinking about the opponent. And he really did look ill on the and it's great in hindsight to say, how did you do it? But we said it for a long time. When he first joined our gym 2 years ago, when he came from Oliver's, he was training at Oliver's, and Oliver was poorly, so he came over to us because Oliver asked us to help him out. And we did. And we never believed he was a light heavyweight and said, how are you making it? You should be a cruiserweight immediately. And then opportunities come along. He did it professionally, and he really is a consummate professional. Genuinely, he's not. He's in no way, shape or form. Anyway, would you doubt him in any capacity? He's got bottle. He's got fitness. He's got strength, and now he's comfortable. He genuinely is. We didn't have to train. He didn't have to train to do the weight. So he was training for the kid. He was training, thinking the boxing, training all the time, thinking of the opponent and his performance. Not thinking, I've got to do £3, £6, £10, £9, 10, whatever it is. And it was a lot. And so he looked ill. Now he's not. Now he looks fantastic. He's full. He hasn't had to rehydrate because he was already hydrated. So there's been no weight problem at all. But it still is a dangerous fight. He's 20 pounds lighter. Volau, he's 20 pounds lighter than he was against Simon Vallely, who was the last fight. So whatever he was doing at heavyweight, I don't know, because he's not the biggest. And he seems like a really nice kid. He's very, very civil and very polite and respectful. And he's coming to fight. And we know that. So he's coming to knock Stephen out, thinking about what his last fight and where he is now. So it's interesting, very interesting, and it's a really good opportunity for Stephen to fight a decent opponent, someone who's not going to come and tie up and run away and survive. He's got a guy in front of him who's coming to win, who's coming to win. He's on a golden ticket. He's on Sky Sports Live. Why would he not? And it's a really interesting fight, and one that I'm excited about. I believe Stephen is good enough to beat anybody. Especially where he is now, and regardless of the power hitting, because he can fight. He fights like a featherweight, like a lightweight, like a light welterweight. He moves. His movement's fantastic. And if you've got no legs and you get hit in the chin, you're gonna fall over, and that's the truth. And listen, Blotnitz can fight and can hit, and I believe he's now rightly the favourite for the tournament. But I hope Liam Conroy goes on and wins it. I really do. I hope he wins tonight. I hope he wins then. But Stephen, I think Stephen can look good tonight, God willing.
And how have you worked it then with your pal Jamie? So you're in the bubble for this. So how's it? Just gives a little insight to how you sort these things out, because you work together as a team, obviously, with all the stables. So, I mean, obviously, you can't have everybody going in the bubble and all that. So tell us, bring us behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, we know we're lucky, we're very fortunate that you were with teams that were involved with, people were involved with, whether it be MTK, Stevie Wood, Eddie Earn shows, Frank Warren shows, prior to, so you got plenty of notice. So obviously my initial fight is to make sure I'm off work and not.
That's the firefighting work.
Firefighting work, yeah. So yeah, my job, yeah, my occupation is what I am. What pays the bills, what keeps the kids in clothes and food on the table. So the firefighting, I've obviously got to make sure I can sort that out, which I've done. So we have a plan, and we have a mutual calendar, me and Jamie, and so all our appointments are on there. We know when the proposed fights can be in the future. So I've already got one eye, on the future. So when this came up, we knew the timing was Akib and Chantel down in Milton Keynes, and even the prior to it. And there was also a prospect of someone fighting last night in Bulgaria. So that was going to happen. We thought Martin Murray was going to be boxing in Bulgaria last evening. So, sorry, not last evening, on Saturday evening. So the plan was to do this, then maybe go to Bulgaria and then go to London. But the air bridge has been removed from Bulgaria, so we'd have to isolate. So that is out of the question for me to do it. So someone else was going to do it anyway. The fight was cancelled. Probably fortunately for me, because now I can be part of of everything. So Jamie said, you know, what do you think? And I said, yeah, I'll go to Wakefield, isolate. You go to London. So Jamie's he'd gone to Milton Keynes, not London. Sorry, I did buy a ticket for Milton Keynes for London, like a buffoon that I am. I bought a ticket for, but anyway. But luckily, he stops at Milton Keynes. So, no. Yeah, so we decided that I come over here on my own, just me and Stephen, and I'm going from here, so I'm going to go straight home, and then tomorrow morning go into Milton Keynes. So it's interesting, you know, the bubble. We separated a few times now. So we had for Carl's last fight, we had Carl's last spar on the Wednesday, but Aki was fighting in the bubble on the Saturday on Fight Camp. So but I had to do the spar. Jamie went down there, so I went down as cutsman because being a cutsman, you can go in there the day before to have the test, with 72 hours or whatever, 48 hours prior to it, had the test, and then the day before you're okay. But it's similar here. Again, everyone does it a little bit different. MTK have done it one way. Frank Warren Queensbury have done it another way, and Eddie Hearn did it another way. So they're all different things, but they're all pretty similar. That you stay in your room, you get tested, and fortunately, up until this point, there seems to have been apparently no tests, no positive tests, and obviously yesterday, there have been a few. So people have had to go home, which is sickening, as I've mentioned before. But I'm here. I will see the job through tonight, and then go and get another test in London, Milton Keynes, tomorrow. So Jamie's down there in his bubble with Chantel and Akib, and then I will join them tomorrow. I would hope that they would not respect, but value the test that you've had here. But I'll still get another one because I could have caught you on the train. Because I don't know how quick it comes. You know, it's a virus that no one seems to know anything about, especially Boris Johnson.